I wanted to share with you my vision moving forward from this point and go over some things that you can expect from me and from the MakerJayne brand. Hello and welcome to this video. I am very excited to be able to be filming this video, which I'm going to get into in just a little bit. But if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. My name is Janie and you're watching the MakerJayne channel, where I share all things English paper piecing, from tips and tutorials to projects and more. So if you love EPP like I do, please consider subscribing. This video has been on my heart for several weeks, and I've got a lot of different things that I've been thinking about for the MakerJayne brand, and I've been going through some health challenges as well. So I just wanted to share this video with you and give you an update, because you may have noticed that I haven't been putting out the same type of video content as I was in the past. And I also haven't been putting out the same amount of video content as I was over the past couple of years. And there's a few reasons for that, but the one being primarily the health challenges. I wanted to share with you kind of my vision moving forward from this point and go over some things that you can expect from me and from the MakerJayne brand moving forward. So I'll get into those items in a little bit, but first I want to talk a little bit about some of the personal things that I've been experiencing and some personal projects that I've been working on. So regarding my health, I've been on a healing journey for quite a many number of years, and it's been a struggle. It's been up and down. It's just been challenging. And so earlier this year, I wasn't sure how I would be able to move forward with MakerJayne. But over the past 3 months, I have been working through a detox, and I have changed my diet. So I'm eating only fresh fruits and vegetables, some light steamed vegetables here and there, but mostly fresh raw salads and lots of fresh fruit. Just kind of keeping my diet a lot simpler than it has been in the past, and also following my conviction on what I believe the ideal diet for humanity is. And I get that from the Bible. Anyway, that's kind of where I've been over the past 3 or 4 months. Is I've been going through this detox. And long story short, just a few weeks ago, as my body is detoxing and as all of the toxins that are inside of my system from a life of just complete depravity, really, my past is not something that I'm proud of, and it's not really something I like to talk about. But long story short, I was on a path to self-destruction. This is before I came to know God and I came to know the Lord Yeshua, and also known as Jesus Christ. When God found me, he turned my life around. And so I've been on this journey of really cleansing all of just the drugs and the alcohol and the coffee and the cigarettes and all the things that I used to put into my body. Now I'm, getting all that out. And so over the past couple of weeks, I actually had an incident. It's known as a detox reaction. During that time, I had just finished one of the most strong stretches of my detox, of my 3-month detox. Right at the end, I was taking some of the strongest lymphatic herbs that really help the lymph system to drain out all of the mucus and the toxicity that is stored up in our lymph system. And if we eat wrong and if we put bad things into our body over years and years and years, it accumulates in our body. And so that's actually what causes illness. So anyway, I'm feeling amazing. Since my last video, I wasn't feeling so great, but the detox is just doing amazing. And so what I decided is I took a break from the herbs and I kind of backed off of those herbs because I knew that they were strong. I could actually feel my lymph, from day to day, it would kind of swell and recede, swell and recede. So I knew the herbs were working, and I slowed down on those herbs. I started eating a little bit more steamed vegetables just to kind of slow down the detox, because fresh fruits and raw vegetables like salads and things, those are extremely cleansing to the body. And so with the doctor that I've been following, I've been learning that we can control how strong of a detox we have with our diet. And so I was practicing what I was learning from him. So I started changing my diet just a little bit to kind of slow down that detox. And I decided, because I knew that it was a detox reaction, and I knew that that was just the beginning of these things starting to reveal themselves as they come out of my body, that it was time to enter into another course of herbs. And so there is a specific rhythm of the herbs that I'm taking and a specific protocol that I've gotten from the doctor. And so I'm just starting at the beginning of that protocol, and I'm going to go through it again. And I'm going to continue to listen to my body and adjust my herbs and adjust my diet as I go. But as of right now, I am back to 100% completely raw fruits and vegetables. I feel fantastic. I've got more energy, and I'm excited because I have a lot more creativity. The creative juices are flowing right now. I know that it's a long road ahead, and I feel like I finally have the answers, and I'm finally not just have the answers, because I've kind of known what I needed to do for many, many years. But I finally have the willpower, and I finally have the motivation and the drive, that inner drive that I needed but didn't have, to stay consistent and to stay on this diet and to really follow through. In the past, I had tried similar diets to this, and for whatever reason, I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready mentally. I wasn't ready in my heart. I knew the truth, but I wasn't willing to follow it. That has all changed. This year has just been amazing in terms of that, and I'm really encouraged. So with that, I want to share with you some of the personal projects that I've been working on. I'm really excited about, and I think that sharing things like this can be inspiring and can ignite some creative juices in your own heart and in your own mind. First of all, you probably have noticed that I have some beautiful fabrics sitting here on my table. I just had this day where I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to pull fabrics. I have a few patterns in mind that I want to make. So I just wanted to kind of show these to you because I just love color. And so this is the first fabric pull that I did. Basically, we've got a lot of blues and greens. These are some of my favorite colors. One of my favorite ways to do a fabric pull is to actually start with a fabric that I wouldn't necessarily buy or really necessarily even know what to do with. So this is a cave facet fabric, and as you can see, it's all cut up. This is all I have left of this fat quarter. I got this from one of my Cotton Cuts classic boxes that I was subscribed to. But basically, I started with this fabric, and I knew that I wanted to pull out some of the colors from this fabric. So that's what I did. I just grabbed the fabric, and I went to my fabric collection, and I just started pulling fabrics. What I noticed I didn't do is I didn't pull any purples. I don't know what I was in this mood for blues and greens that day, and I wanted to pick up more of the blue and then the blue green, which you see here, with those greens. So it was kind of pulling those colors together. And then of course there's this little pop of purple just to kind of add some interest. So that was one colorway I chose. Another one I've been working on, this has kind of been a long-term fabric pull. I had been just kind of collecting these beautiful greens and golds over the course of actually all of last year is when I started collecting these fabrics. And then the day that I was doing this fabric pull just a couple months ago, I realized that I needed more yellows, and I wanted to have a little bit more of a dynamic range within the colors that I was choosing. These were the fabrics that I had purchased, and actually same kind of thing. I went ahead and started with a very busy fabric that had colors that I was drawn to in it. This is the fabric that entire fabric pull started with. And so I grabbed this, I'm at the fabric store, and I start grabbing and pulling other fabrics that match that main fabric and the colors that are in it. And then later on, I would go back to the store, taking this fabric with me, and I added these yellows to it. And so the one day that I was doing my fabric pull, a couple months ago, I was looking at this fabric again and I was thinking, you know, it's really beautiful, but there isn't a lot of fabrics that really tie these two groups of colors together. We've got greens and we've got yellows, but there wasn't a lot of fabrics that really pulled them together. So I went to my stash and I started pulling out fabrics and I found this one. And this I thought really pulled them together because it has both the yellow, obviously, but it also has these beautiful little green highlights, if you will, in the background of those flowers. So immediately I knew, okay, that green is pretty much right on with the green of the original fabric pull. And then that yellow is just very stunning. And it brings in a little bit of orange as well, which I really liked. So I went with that orange and I thought, okay, I would love to have some more dark fabrics. And so then I found this in my stash and noticed that we've got that orange coming through in this darker green. And even though this green isn't that aqua, you know, blue-green color, it's still green and it still gives it that depth and a little bit of that richness that I was looking for, just to kind of expand that color palette a little bit. Now keep in mind, as I'm showing you these fabrics, I may not actually use all of these fabrics in a project, but the idea is to, when you're pulling a fabric palette together, the idea is to pull as many fabrics together as possible so that when you go to actually make your project, you have more to work with. You can make choices because you've got multiple fabrics to choose from. The more fabrics you have to choose from, the more creative you can get. The other fabrics that I found, again, are just more of the green, but I wanted to add a little bit more of a print mixing up. So I found this lovely kind of a checker plaid. And then this is really interesting. This is bamboo print, but it has, I don't know if you can see it, maybe on this side, it has that kind of an aqua blue almost in there with the green. And then of course the lighter green lends itself a little bit more towards the yellows in the larger fabric palette. And then this was a fabric that I just absolutely love. I love these stripes. And again, it's more of a muddy, darker print. So I'm excited to play with these fabrics eventually. I've just been having them sit here, just to kind of look at them and to keep them in my creative mind's eye. And when I get to that project, these fabrics are going to be used. So I'm really excited about those. And then I've got two more fabric selections that I wanted to show you. This actually is a project that I have started based on a pattern that I had shared earlier last year here on YouTube, which I will link to up above here. We've got a skill building series that I did here. If you haven't seen it, be sure to check it out. But one of the patterns in the skill building series is this beautiful flower. And this is the curves pattern that I put together for that skill building series, in which you can practice English paper piecing your curves. So I just started making flowers and I had it sitting aside and I just thought, you know what? I want to make an entire quilt with these flowers. But I don't want all my flowers to be exactly the same. I want it to kind of be a scrappy type of quilt. So these are the two flowers I have so far. Anyway, I wanted to show you the fabric pull. So the same technique that I already told you about, where you pick out a fabric that you really like that's got multiple colors in it, and you use that as your inspiration fabric, that's what I did here. So my inspiration fabric is the teacup fabric. And so the fabric palette then is based off of that fabric. So these are some of the fabrics that I have selected based off that fabric. So this beautiful, vibrant pink. I've got some greens, some mint green, and this kind of a more of like a grassy green. Then we get into a yellow green, which is really like a neon, pretty fun. And then this has been in my stash, and I love this fabric. I have no idea where I would be able to even find any more fabric like this, but I love the kind of the sherbet mint green color with the pink and the plaid. And you'll notice too, I am mixing up my prints. So I really enjoy doing that. I've got a yellow floral and of course the teacup fabric. This is kind of a seersucker fabric I thought would be fun to add a little texture. That beautiful floral that you saw in that one block. And then these are just charm squares, just random charm squares from my stash that I thought would work as flowers. I really love this fabric. This is actually a batik, and it's just got just beautiful colors in it. And this batik as well, oranges. And another K facet fabric. So this is one that I have just been kind of chopping up. I've been doing a lot of fussy cutting, trying to replicate the floral of this fabric in a different way with the curves of the EPP. So anyway, that's the fun I've been having with these flowers. And if you would like to learn more about these flowers, I'll put a link down below in the description where you can check out my Etsy listing and you can get the pattern for those. And the last one is this one here. And I am just loving these fabrics together. I think this is going to be my next pattern. I have a pattern in the works that I have not released yet. I was going to say if I could give you a sneak peek, but it's nowhere near. It's not sitting by me right now. But I've already made one sample, but I am kind of ready to make another sample. I just want to make another one. And so this fabric pole is for that. And so when I get to that, I'm excited to get into these fabrics. So you can see I've got a ton of fabrics pulled for these projects. And again, I don't know exactly how I'm going to use the fabrics, but having the fabrics already pulled gives me the option to play and to have fun with the colors and with the fabrics and to experiment. The last personal project I want to share with you before I get into some of the exciting things that are coming with MakerJayne is some cross stitching. So I went through this period just over this last couple months where because I was on my detox, I was feeling really tired a lot. And so when I was needing to rest, I couldn't just sit there and not do something with my hands. So I started picking up an old cross-stitching project that I had been working on years ago that I even moved with when we moved here. This thing, I don't even remember when I started it, but it has been in my stash for a very long time. And I actually made the mistake of leaving it in the hoop most of that time period. So it's very skewed and I need to do some blocking, which I've never done before. I've done cross stitch before, but I've never actually blocked a finished project. So if you do cross stitch and you have any tips for blocking your cross stitch, let me know in the comments because I am still kind of hesitating to actually embark on that. I know I need to do it. And I've been watching some videos on it, but I'm still hesitating. So any encouragement or any tips you can share, I would greatly appreciate it. But anyway, I want to show you the actual project first, and then I'll show you what it looks like finished. So when I saw this online, I knew I needed to make it. And one of the reasons was because it comes with all of the threads, and it's such a beautiful project. But it is by Dimensions. I don't know if you're familiar with that brand. Try to get the glare off. But this is the beautiful butterfly cross stitch that I found. And I absolutely fell in love with it and I ordered it. And like I said, this has been a work in progress for at least 5 years. The finished size is 14 by 20. And if I can find this online, I'll put a link down below in the description if you might be interested in making it. I'll see if I can find it for you and put the link below. But anyway, like I said, it comes with all of the threads. It came with the fabric, needles, everything. And I really liked how the threads were organized. They're organized by color. And so you can see I've kind of looped mine over, but they actually came originally attached to this card, and each of the colors has the color number on it. So it's very easy to follow and find your threads, and you know, it's not a tangled mess when you get it like some cross stitch kits can be. So anyway, this is my finished cross stitch. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. I love the finishing details, the outlines with the butterfly and the flowers, and also this lovely gold little highlight around the outside border of it. But you can see it's very skewed. And I made the mistake as a beginner cross stitcher of leaving this in the hoop for all those years. And when I opened it up just a couple months ago, it was still in the hoop. I took it out of the hoop. I tried to straighten it. It didn't do anything. It didn't budge. So this corner is kind of wanting to go up. And so I need to block this somehow. So that's the next step with that project. But I'm super happy that it's finally finished. And it just feels so good to accomplish a long-term project, finally, to get it done. Now, what am I going to do with all these threads? That was the other thing. After I finished my project, I thought, okay, I have all this thread still. I'm done. I don't need the thread for another project. What can I do with it? So I went online and I actually found some really cool, cute ideas of what people are doing with their leftover cross-stitch thread. And one of the ideas that I am going to do is I bought some fabric, of just blank fabric. I got it off Amazon, and I'm gonna actually create an abstract cross stitch just using up the random leftover threads from my cross stitch projects. And then any threads like this that are like, you know, too short to really stitch with, or they're just single threads kind of left over from being stitched with already, I'm going to go ahead and collect these in a little decorative jar, and over time fill that jar and have it be like a little decoration in my sewing studio. So I thought that would be kind of fun. Okay, so now that the personal projects are out of the way, which I always think are fun to share, I wanted to share with you a couple of updates that are coming for MakerJayne and for you. So first of all, I have been working on learning geometry, and it's kind of been mind-blowing. The complexity, I don't even know how to say it. It's mind-blowing, but it's intriguing, and I am fascinated by it. And by the way, I was never really that great at math or geometry in school. So it's kind of ironic that now I'm drawn to it and I'm actively pursuing it because I just wasn't good at it before. But anyway, I'm loving it and I'm having a really good time. I've been taking some geometry drawing classes, and the classes are based on Islamic geometry from all over the world. And so it's really exciting and it's really fun. And as I learn these patterns, I'm going to be making future EPP patterns based on the inspiration that I'm getting by learning how to draw them. So I just wanted to share with you, this isn't really necessarily going to be a pattern. These are just some drawings that I've been working on to learn the skill and to learn the art. So in my class, we learn the foundation of the drawing, and we're learning how to use a ruler and compass to draw out these designs. And then after you've got your foundation drawing with your ruler and compass, then you come back through with like an ink pen or a darker pencil, and you start drawing in the shapes that are formed from the ruler and compass foundation. So all of these patterns that I'm going to show you right now are based on the same foundational design, but each one of these is slightly different and unique in its own way. So the first one is this pattern here. And if you like what I show you, I want you to let me know in the comments if you would like me to make an English paper piecing pattern out of these. So this is A. And then we have B. And then we have C. Remember, these are all based on the same foundation. Then we have D, very similar, but slightly different angles. And finally, we have E. Again, very similar, but slightly different angles. So I've been having so much fun learning geometry, and I'm really excited to start designing EPP patterns using this technique. These geometric patterns will be coming soon, hopefully before the end of the year. And I'm just really excited about it because I geek out on geometry, I geek out on color. And to show you that, what I did is I actually took 3 of the designs that I just showed you, and I drew them out on a paper, and then I grabbed some coloring pens and just started coloring and just started having some fun with it. So this is my playtime, this is my experiment, and as I learn using markers and pens, that's going to help me to design English paper piecing patterns in the near future. So let me know in the comments, do you like what I'm showing you? Are you interested in seeing more of these types of patterns and designs? I would love to hear from you because I want to make patterns that you love, and I want to know what you love. So let me know, and we'll see where we go from here. So another update I wanted to share with you, and something I'm very excited about that is also related to pattern writing, is I recently applied for a scholarship to a pattern writing course. Now, I have been writing a few patterns in the past, but I really want to up my game, and I really want to be able to share my patterns with pattern distributors eventually someday, and also to get them into quilt shops and to just have a broader reach. And I want to up my game in terms of my pattern writing skills and my pattern design skills, because I really want the patterns that I make for MakerJayne to be as professional quality as possible. So I have been wanting to join this pattern writing course ever since I first learned about it. And if you're interested in writing your own patterns, I will put information down below to the pattern writing course that I'm talking about. But anyway, I had been on the wait list for the pattern writing course for several months, and I've been following the quilter Elizabeth Chappell, who is teaching the course, and just kind of anxiously waiting for the wait list to open. I wasn't quite sure how I was going to be able to pay for it. So I joined the wait list anyway. I didn't know how much it was going to be, but I knew it was probably going to be it's a valuable course. It's going to help, pattern designers build their business. So I knew it wasn't going to be cheap, but I wasn't sure how I was going to be able to invest in it. So I just signed up for the wait list anyway. Well, I recently found out that she had a scholarship available. So I went ahead and applied for the scholarship. As you know from earlier in the video and from previous videos, I've been dealing with health challenges, and I don't have the extra spending money to move forward with a lot of the educational things that I want to because of the health challenges. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to apply for it and see what happens. Well, last week I got an email and I was accepted for the scholarship. So I wanted to share that with you because I'm super excited to be able to grow this part of MakerJayne finally, to be able to take the pattern writing course, combine that with all of the practicing and the geometry that I'm doing, and to really start creating patterns that not only make my heart sing, but hopefully are going to also inspire you and light you up as well. So I wanted to share that and just share the good news because I'm super excited. So with that said, I also want to share with you some changes that are going to be happening here on the channel. If you're new to the channel, then this doesn't really apply to you. But if you have been a subscriber and if you've been watching my videos and kind of keeping track of the MakerJayne channel for any amount of time, then you've noticed that my videos have changed, not only in the amount of videos that I produce, but also in the content that I've been producing. So earlier this year, I partnered with Cotton Cuts and I got set up with their puzzle mystery quilt. And I've been sharing videos with you and all the fun that we've been having with the puzzle mystery quilt here on the channel. Well, because of the health challenges, those have pretty much been the only videos that I've been able to make. And I started realizing a few weeks ago, you know what? As much as I love the puzzle mystery quilt, it's really not why I started this channel. And it's not really what the MakerJayne brand is about. And so over the past couple of weeks, I made the decision that after the current puzzle mystery quilt that I am currently making videos for, which is the Village Green puzzle mystery quilt from spring 2023, when this one is over, I will not continue to make puzzle mystery quilt videos here on this channel. The reason for that is because this channel, I want to be dedicated and focused on English paper piecing. And that's really what my passion is, and that's what the MakerJayne brand is about. So I really want to kind of redirect this channel back to its original and primary focus, which is English paper piecing. So I just wanted to let you know about that in this video because I think that's a very important change that's going to be happening, and I want to give you a heads up on what's coming and what's happening here on the MakerJayne channel. So moving forward, what you can expect is we will be getting back to English paper piecing. I don't know exactly how many times I'll be able to post a video as of yet, because I'm still kind of in that transition period. Number one, because I'm still working on the puzzle mystery quilt, and I want to faithfully finish that for you. For those of you who have been following along, I want to continue showing you the remaining clues that are part of that puzzle mystery quilt. So my goal is to minimum have a video posted here on the channel every 2 weeks. That's my goal. Whether I meet that goal or not, I'm not going to beat myself up over it if I don't meet that goal, but I want to be clear with you on what I'm expecting of myself and what you can expect of me on this channel. So I'm hoping to post every other week, and that includes the puzzle mystery quilt as well as English paper piecing related topics. But the goal is to eventually be completely English paper piecing and anything relating to English paper piecing. So if there are any videos or any topics related to English paper piecing that you would like to see, I would love if you could let me know in the comments. I am looking for ideas. I've got a whole list of ideas, but I want to make sure that the energy that I put into my videos is what you actually want. So if you have some ideas, or if you have any questions that kind of been in the back of your mind that you've been really wanting a video on, then let me know in the comments, and I will look at those suggestions and create a list and start making more videos for you here on the channel. So the last and final update that I wanted to share with you is something that I am super excited about. I've had a vision for this for quite some time, and it's finally at the point where I'm ready to release it into the world. The goal of MakerJayne and why I created this brand is not only because I'm passionate about English paper piecing, but I want to share my love and my passion for English paper piecing with more and more quilters. And I want to help grow the love of English paper piecing all over the world and get it into as many makers' hands as possible. And in order to do that, I need your help. I frankly just can't do it by myself. And so I would love for you to partner with me and to help me get it into more hands and into more homes, because I really believe that English paper piecing is just such a beautiful technique. It's very healing emotionally and mentally. It's a very peaceful process. And if you have been English paper piecing, which I'm sure you've at least tried it, or at least are thinking about trying it, you've probably already seen some of its benefits, and you probably already have some of your own favorite things about English paper piecing. So if you would like to help me to grow the love of EPP more and more around the world, you can do so by joining me on my Patreon account. I started a Patreon page because I wanted to share more kind of behind the scenes things of what's happening with the MakerJayne brand with you in more of an exclusive type of environment. I don't just want to share what's going on creatively in MakerJayne with just anybody. I want to share it with the most committed fans of MakerJayne and allow you to partner with me in this mission of spreading EPP to as many people as possible. So a way that you can do that is if you go over to Patreon, I will put the link down below. Go to patreon.com/MakerJayne. There are 3 different options that you can choose from. The basic one, there are specific benefits for that tier. The second tier is going to open up even more benefits for you. And then the third tier gets the most amount of benefits. So rather than go into all the details of the benefits, you can just visit the link down below and go check it out for yourself. And by all means, don't feel like you have to support in any way. But if you resonate with this vision of mine, and if you would like to see what's happening behind the scenes at MakerJayne, some of the designs that I'm coming up with, if you'd like to have a voice in some of the patterns that are being created, if you'd like to be able to vote on fabric polls for projects, or if you'd like to see behind the scenes of my workspace, in a couple weeks coming up, I'll be sharing an exclusive video just for patrons on Patreon only of a tour of my sewing studio and showing you all the little nooks and crannies and all of the tools and all the things that I have here in the MakerJayne studio. So if you're interested in those types of behind the scenes content and features, and you want to be kind of considered a super fan or even an ultimate fan of the MakerJayne mission and message, then consider becoming a patron over on my Patreon page. Well, that is it for the summer 2023 updates for MakerJayne. I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to thank you so much for hanging in there with me. If you have gotten to this final point in the video, thank you for watching. And I am super excited about what the future holds for MakerJayne. And I'm super excited for what the future holds with English paper piecing around the world. I'm really looking forward to getting back to doing more English paper piecing content for you here on the channel. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep on stitching.